yeah. No,
Thank you very much.
Yes, what's the problem?
He's not objecting to that.
I think certain things have to be over.
Honorable Member Thambi Durai talk about how there was this cradle scheme which was brought so that children, as soon as they are born, being girls, are not killed. And that was a step some time ago taken in Tamil Nadu. Many states have done many such steps. I heard members this morning also recall from the south eminent fighters, warriors. I also will name Abbai, who was a great, simple two-line aphorisms from her, always enamors all of us. Karakal Ammayar, who was a great bhakti saint. She's treated as a Nayanmar. So in India, women have had a role in literature, a role in very many different situations. Women warriors, sir. Rani Abbakka, Kitturu Chennamma, Velu Nachiyar, Rani Gendunlu, Lakshmi Segal, and of course Jhansi Ki Rani. All of them, I've just taken a random list. So is their prowess in science. E.K. Janaki Ammal was one of the earliest scientists of India. Asima Chatterjee, Anandi Ben Joshi, Anna Mani, and Darshan Ranganathan are all women of eminence in science. So we've had this culture of allowing women to do whatever their aspirations lead them to do, and we've respected it. Of course, as they say in Hindi, Vikrutiya have come into the system, we'll have to cleanse that, and efforts are being made. Now in this I want to highlight, sir, that the party that I represent, BJP, has been consistent in its support for women's reservation. BJP held its national convention in 1994 in Vadodara, and there very clearly stated that we stand for reservations of women, reservation for women in the parliament and also in the state assemblies. If that was in 1994, 1998, BJP reiterated its commitment for women's reservation by introducing it in the Lok Sabha, which I just mentioned a while ago under Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. In July 2003, BJP held a national executive in Raipur in Chhattisgarh, and there they passed a resolution seeking 1/3 of all Lok Sabha constituencies to be converted for reserving for women. Progressively, that opinion has been refined now that in 2007, in the national executive, it approved 33% reservation for all organizational positions within the party. And in 2008, sir, BJP amended its constitution to provide 33% reservation to women in its cadre posts as well. And let me take this opportunity, sir, in all humility, to thank my party. I'm one of the beneficiaries of this reservation for women that I'm here today, and I thank my party for having given me that opportunity. So BJP has been consistently supportive of women's reservations, sir. I remember those days were early days for me as a party spokesperson, but the now lapsed bill, which was passed in Rajya Sabha in 2010, late Sri Arun Jaitley supported it passionately in the Rajya Sabha, and it was passed in the Rajya Sabha. Of course, when it transmitted to Lok Sabha, it didn't get through. So BJP has been absolutely steady in its support for women's reservation, and this morning I heard some honorable members also refer to some very picturesque moments when Honorable late Srimati Sushma Swaraj had waited outside the Parliament House, received Brinda Karat, the Honorable former member of the Rajya Sabha, and they both hugged each other in joy that the Rajya Sabha passed the bill and it is now the turn for Lok Sabha. So there was a complete, across party lines, a sense of wanting to achieve this, and today we remember late Sushma Swaraj, and of course, even today, the activists and also former members of parliament who have all been pursuing this agenda. To further this point, sir, 2014, prior to the Lok Sabha election, BJP's manifesto, the Sankalp Patra, openly said that BJP is in favor of bringing reservation, 33% reservation in parliament and also in the state assemblies. So did 2019 Sankalp Patra. So just as Article 370 has always been in BJP's manifesto, so is women's reservation always been in BJP's election manifestos, be it 2014 and now be it 2019. Sir, Sankalp se Siddhi principle, which Honorable Prime Minister follows very earnestly, is also proven by the fact that everything that which is mentioned in the Sankalp Patra is taken up to the level of achieving, that is, Siddhi tak, Prapt karne tak, we follow it in earnestness. I also heard some members this morning talk about you were paying attention to Article 370, you were paying attention to triple talaq, but you didn't do this women's reservation. I like to take this opportunity to say through you, sir, Article 370 has a very big women's component in it. Inter alia, you didn't allow women to hold property in J&K. Is it not important for them to have that honor back? They have, after all, been born there. Well, if they married somebody else from anywhere else, how right is it under Article 370 to deny them ownership of property? Is that not important? Therefore, when we restored the normalcy and also removed Article 370, women, SC, ST, Bakarwals, all of them get their rights. That is why Sankalp se Siddhi principle of Honorable Prime Minister makes complete sense. And between 2014 and today, these are the kind of achievements to empower women which have been happening. Similar is, I heard our Honorable National President, Shri Nadda, speak about triple talaq this morning. He said triple talaq is not in A country, B country, C country, all of which are Muslim-dominated countries. But in India, it took us a whole process of going through the courts and again politically convincing our people and then bringing it in. But Prime Minister Modi did not hesitate. He said if that has got to be done for giving the rights to the Muslim women, we shall do it. So triple talaq also happened. So Nadda ji clearly explained, we don't involve or indulge in appeasement politics. But it is important for us for restoring the rights of women, because in women-related matters, sir, and I can say with complete confidence, in women-related matters, we don't play any politics. It is an article of faith for the Honorable Prime Minister, and therefore we do everything that we've done, whether it is Article 370 or whether it is triple talaq or looking at now women's reservation bill. All of it is part of our manifesto anyway. So between 14 and 19, I shall not spend too much of a time because yesterday all of us heard Honorable Home Minister speak in the Lok Sabha. He listed out the various measures which have been taken by Prime Minister Modi for social empowerment, for economic empowerment of women. I'll just very quickly flag off a few of them, sir. Ujjwala for smoke-free kitchen, 9.59 crores of people have been given free connection and 200 rupees subsidy per cylinder, and newly we are adding 75 lakhs more connections. Swachhata Abhiyan, providing a dignified life for women, providing toilets to them. 11.72 crore toilets have been built in this country. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao has actually helped in restoring a fair balance between gender, because gender asymmetry prevailed all over the country. I heard Honorable Member Thambi Durai talk about how there was this cradle scheme which was brought so that children, as soon as they are born, being girls, are not killed. And that was a step some time ago taken in Tamil Nadu. Many states have done many such steps in order to restore that parity in the gender, in the sex ratio. Sir, Prime Minister Modi's government is the one which gave from 12 weeks of maternity leave to 26 weeks of paid maternity leave for women. These are empowering women. What were we doing between 2014 and 19? These were the things which we were doing. So we didn't forget for a moment empowerment of women. Water to the house for health reasons. Otherwise, they were spending hours going miles to get to drinking water. 9.82 crore new connections of Nal Se Jal, Ghar Ghar Jal has been implemented. So I won't go further into that list of social empowerment and the economic empowerment. But I certainly will take a few more minutes, a bit of considerable time if you would permit me, sir. Empowering women, there cannot be a more substantial measure than finding them in the armed forces. I list out the kind of things Prime Minister Modi has taken to get women have that equal treatment. Many of our honorable members saying, treat us equal. We don't want you to do puja or treat us like goddess. No. Can there be a better place than the three armed forces where we have brought women to be at par with men and they stand there clearly? I'll give out the list, sir. All wings of the Indian Armed Forces have women in combat roles now. Women are allowed in combat services and in supervisory roles. I'll start with the Central Armed Forces, paramilitary forces. In 2016, Prime Minister Modi's government took a historic move, decided to reserve 33% posts at the constable level for women in CRPF, CISF, and to begin with, 14 to 15% posts at the constable level in the border guarding forces such as the BSF, SSB, and ITBP have been brought in a phased manner. That's equality. That's treating men and women equal, literally in the uniformed services. Similarly, sir, admission of girls in Sainik schools, unimaginable, because there was so much resistance. No, you can't do it. Admission of girls in Sainik schools with effect from academic session 21-22, girl cadets have been admitted in all existing 33 Sainik schools. That was clearly a step which was taken as a decision by Prime Minister Modi's government. Indian Army, sir, has opened up entry for women candidates in the National Defence Academy. You know how prestigious that center is. And it is one of the male domains which you could never breach. But today it has been opened for female cadets. 19 cadets, including 10 for Indian Army, joining academy every 6 months. Women candidates, women cadets. Sir, permanent commission is also being granted to women officers in the armed forces. You may think that it is only in the armed forces medical corps or it's in the dental corps and so on. No. Or it is in the nursing service. No. Over and above that, now women are being given permanent commission in the armed forces as women officers. Sir, similarly, Indian Army has opened up avenues for women officers to serve as pilots in the Corps of Army's aviation. So flying the helicopters for the Army is done by women now. Women officers are also being considered for colonel rank and are being given command appointments so they can lead commands. Also, sir, there are other ranks which are also getting into the core of the military police in the Indian Army, which has been introduced from 2019. So is the case with Navy. I wouldn't want to read each one of those steps, but today whether it's Army, whether it's Navy, or whether it is the Air Force, they are all being treated at equal with men. Agniveer scheme, sir. I was very happy to hear Honorable Member Sumitra Balmik. Is she here now? Yes. She mentioned it, sir. Women are getting recruited as women Agniveers. I was going to mention it, but I was glad to hear it from another member of this House. From the first batch itself, we have women Agniveers. So now, without taking more time on talking about the larger issues, I'll come to responding to some of the members who have raised some issues where I wish to explain. Some members, Ramnath Thakurji, K.C. Venugopal, Priyanka Chaturvedi ji, Phulo Devi Nettam ji, have all raised this issue about, you came to power in 2014, why have you taken 9 years to bring this bill? I think I've explained it, that we've spent a lot of time and attention on delivering on social empowerment and also on economic empowerment. In the meanwhile, you also saw how they have been empowered to get into the armed forces and the central armed paramilitary forces as well. Explanations and details with facts have been given by the Home Minister yesterday in Lok Sabha. Women have become now job creators. 29 crore women have also benefited because of the Mudra scheme, where 70% of all beneficiaries are women. So there are several schemes which has helped women to come up to some level. That's what we've been doing since 2014. Then there was this question, I think in general, several members have raised, saying, why a special session for this bill? Sir, that simply we've come into new complex, new building for Parliament, new India. We would like this Parliament to deal with one of the best bills that it can deal with, where all of us agreed. And I'm glad to say this. I thank from the bottom of my heart for the consideration that all the parties have shown, irrespective of the little reservations they may have, questions they have in their mind, for extending support for this historic bill and this new building as a first bill. Handling this bill is, I think, a very good start for a building which is being built for the next 100 years for the country. Even if delimitation is going to come up with newer members, there's enough space to accommodate a lot of new ones. Sir, it was a bit disheartening to hear some members say, oh, this bill is a jumla. This is a very catchy word. A lot of people love using that word, but no. Whoever said it, I'm not particularly naming the members, it is not a jumla. This bill is not a jumla. I want you all to please attend to the points that I'm trying to talk. And the context in which the Home Minister said, I think has been well understood, but it's convenient for us to use jumla again, no? So we forget the context in which Honorable Home Minister said it.